Hello from the office makeover declutter challenge. We are working on the end of day 10 and still I know there was a lot done, but it doesn't look like there's a lot done. And that's frustrating for me anyway. I know that a great amount of paperwork was gone through. I do know that a lot of items were posted for my crew and some friends that are local that just need a new home. So some of them were claimed, some of them are still up. I guess they'll end up probably being donated. So, but I always try to find a home for something before I just pitch it. Anyway, as far as my flare-up, I've had several people ask me about it. The flare-up is from a condition I have, an immune disorder called sarcoidosis. And April happens to also be the awareness month. So purple is the color for sarcoidosis. And it is an immune disorder that, I guess the best way to describe it is you get, say you knock your leg, okay, you get a bruise. The bruise is indicative of the damage, but your body also responds through the creation of the bruise with red blood cells to repair the area. Well, with sarcoidosis, if you not only damage something by, knocking your shin or stubbing your toe, but even if you are doing something and you work a muscle too much, your body responds in overdrive. So, for example, moving all those crates around and bending over 1,000 times trying to empty them all. That really put a lot of strain on my knees and my hips and my back. You feel like, like when you go to the gym and you're sore the next day, that will trigger a flare-up. And so what happens is with sarcoidosis, your body sends the response, okay? Your body thinks you're under attack rather than, when you do work out, you do get little tears in your muscles and it helps them the healing process makes them stronger, right? But those little tears are necessary in order to build strength. Well, for someone with sarcoidosis, those little tears indicate, oh no, the world's coming to an end. My body is being invaded. And so it sends an immune response, which is way over the top. And the immune response goes in and creates granulomas, nodules, that encompass the area that was under attack or, damaged. And so you end up with things, little nodules that vary from a pea size to ping pong size. It's my body's way of protecting itself, but in overdrive. It's too much of a response. So if you think about, if I work my hands too much, I will get nodules in between my fingers, around the joints, and then you can't move your hands. So that's rough. They're painful, obviously. They also, if they get on your muscles or they get next to a nerve, then anytime you move that part, you're rubbing against those nodules, and that is very painful. It causes nerve neuropathy. So say you're just standing somewhere and you think you feel like a spider crawling up your leg, okay? That happens all over your body when you're having a flare-up, not not a fun thing to happen. So the last couple of days have been a real challenge. I was hoping that I had like crested and would be on the way back down to it being over. But I think I'm in the eye of the storm right now. It's not getting better. It's not getting worse yet. So I'm hoping that I'm maybe capping the top and we'll start to get through it. I do feel my chest, for example, today is a little tight, and to me, I sound like I'm a little froggy. Well, that is the sarcoids in my lungs. So every time I take a breath and your lungs expand and contract, the tissue rubs against any nodules that are in there. Well, that then, of course, irritates the tissue rubbing up against the nodules. Kind of like, when you bite the inside of your cheek and no matter what you do, you keep biting the same spot. Okay. So it's kind of the same thing. You have these little nodules in your lungs if you have the pulmonary sarcoidosis like I do. I have it in my skin. I have it in my bones, and it's recently encroached upon my lungs. They were concerned that it had gotten into my cardiac area, but thankfully it has not. It's still in my lungs at this point, and there's no cure for it. Treatment is chase the symptoms. So the more symptoms, the more medicine they give you. Some point you've got to kind of balance between the side effects of the medicine and the amount of discomfort or pain that you're able to tolerate and still function. A lot of medicines are rough on your body. A lot of medicines are pretty harsh. 2 of my medicines are actually chemo drugs. So, those always have fun side effects. And some of mine are more just nutritional. So you really work hard to keep yourself in as good a shape as you can. But it is an illness that they don't know where it comes from. They don't know why. They think there's certain areas in the country that have hot spots, and Cincinnati, the greater Cincinnati area, happens to be one of the hot spots. So they don't know if there is some environmental to it, but as a rule, you end up with nodules showing up on an x-ray. Like you get a cough after a cold, and 6 weeks later, you're fine, except you're still coughing. So your doctor orders a chest x-ray. And they do a chest x-ray, and unfortunately, majority of the times they tell you have lung cancer, and they need to do a biopsy and see what kind it is. Then they come back and they go, well, we were mistaken. It's not. Very good news. We were mistaken. It's not cancer. It's sarcoidosis. And so then you start this cocktail of medicine that they give you to try to get your symptoms manageable without, you wanting to stay in the bed curled up in a fetal position all day. So there are some days that you feel like curling up in a fetal position and staying in the bed all day. And there are days that you wouldn't know that there was anything wrong with you. So there's a real balance. But today it was, we took everything out of the closet. Oh, that's so nice. I almost want to keep the closet empty to remind myself that there's a closet that doesn't have to be so packed. But everything that came out of the closet has to go somewhere, right? So I was lamenting that I felt that I was making it a bigger mess until I could get everything sorted. So today I spent some time going through, pulling things out, deciding if I was going to keep it, if I was going to pass it along to somebody, and got a big old tub of stuff out on the landing that is going to go to Goodwill. I got 3 boxes packed that thankfully I got somebody to carry downstairs for me, and we'll just keep plugging away.